What's good? Yeah, it's your boy Jones. And this is Jones of the Sports. And as always, I'm joined with my hosts E and Luke. What's good, fellas?
It's good.
What up?
And today, we're going to do part two of the NFL free agency because, as you know, we already did part one of it with all the big news about Brady and DeAndre Hopkins and things like that. But as you know, there's been a lot more talk, a lot more moves since then. So we're going to give you more about what going on in the league since then, especially with our teams. Some of our teams have made some pretty interesting moves, and got to talk about it. So who wants – actually, before I start, I cannot forget this. All our members from Patreon, appreciate you guys, but I want to shout out the two new members that we got, Fallback and Aiden Richardson. Appreciate you guys for supporting Jones of the Sports. Definitely going to pay you guys back with a lot of cool treats and great episodes, pretty much. Also, Chris Dudley, our graphic designer for Jones of the Sports. If you've seen any logos on the Facebook pages, the one that you see behind Luke, all those are done by Chris Dudley. So go check him out on Instagram at Chris Dudley Artwork on Instagram. Great artwork. If logos, all that stuff. So go check it out. It's also on my last Instagram post about, the logo. So definitely go check that out. And let's get into the episode. So there's been some pretty good moves happening thus far. E, I know your team has made some moves. Pittsburgh, I'm not that much sure about how many moves you guys made. Not big moves, I don't think. But I know there's a move that some people have been talking about, and we talked about before we got live, but we'll get into that.
Well, we signed 3 people.
What have the Broncos done? What have the Broncos done thus far?
Obviously, we kind of started the whole offseason off with the first move of the offseason is when we traded for the cornerback AJ Bouye.
Mm-hmm.
It was that was the start of all these crazy moves.
That was also the start of another Jacksonville failed fucking roster build and the start of a new rebuild.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely happy with that move. Picking up one of the top corners of the league, still young. He's going to basically replace Chris Harris Jr., who decided to take less money and sign with the Chargers. Surprising. We also traded for Jarrell Casey from the Titans, defensive tackle. We was in the market for I think we was linked to every available defensive tackle. We was looking at Reader from who played with the Texans. He ended up signing with who did he sign with? The Bengals. He signed with the Bengals.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, the surprising move we made was Melvin Gordon. Kind of came out of nowhere and signed him to a nice 2-year deal. I think making him the 3rd or 4th highest paid running back in the league.
So let me ask you this. Do you think is he going to be pushed right into the starting role, or do you think you guys are going to still use that rookie running back, or are they going to have a
it'll definitely be a 2 running back system between him and Philip Lindsay. What Gordon brings that Lindsay don't. He's a better receiving back. I expect us to use Gordon a lot more in 3rd down, short yardage, stuff like that.
Sure.
Yeah. We the other 2 moves we picked up a backup tight end from the Steelers. Bennett, don't really know too much about him.
He's all right.
Yeah, and then we picked up Glasgow from the Detroit Lions. He could play guard and center. If you know me, one of the main things I bitch about the Broncos is the terrible offensive line we have.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go on that note.
Well, this is the year to fix your O-line.
Oh, of course. My whole thing is maybe we can, wake up and give up all hope that I've given up hope on Garrett Bowles at left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if y'all have noticed this all the trading and the crazy signings, this shows how terrible this draft is outside of O-line and fucking receiver.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's the one thing. Honestly, the one thing I'm happy the Broncos didn't do was throw a lot of money at a guy like Robbie Anderson
Yeah.
or somebody like that, because granted, if you lose out on a Jerry Jeudy or a CeeDee Lamb, this draft is loaded with receivers.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. So
No.
do you guys? Well, let me ask you personally: are you sold with your quarterback right now, or do you think you still should go find someone as the backup just in case it don't work out?
I think Drew Lock showed a lot of promise last year. You know, and you know, me and you spoke.
Especially
I was
what you
high on
went
him
through
before the
the past
draft.
few years.
I was high on him before the draft. I was like, if they could find a way in the second round to snag Drew Lock, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I think, you know, we signed Jeff Driscoll as our backup right now, but we had Flacco, we cut him, you know, a lot of dead money there. I mean, who's really out there to spend money for a backup?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
You know, like, do I expect us to go and make a splash, you know, and go get Cam? Hell no. Like, if anything showed you how sold the Broncos are on Locke, they made no effort to even talk to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
should show you right there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, shit, only like 3 teams bothered talking to Brady.
Yeah, it didn't out the way everyone thought it was going to look.
Yeah,
For
a
him, but
42-year-old quarterback is not a high in demand commodity. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
understand it's Tom Brady.
Obviously, you see how Elway, how hungry he is to try to find another quarterback, because, you know, honestly, he's failed at trying to find a replacement since Peyton Manning's retired.
yeah.
So it should show you how
Yeah.
he would have been how hungry he is to try to find another quarterback. So that shows you, right, to me, that shows you how sold they are on Drew Lock.
For sure.
Kid's not bad. In other
No,
words,
he's not.
just give him time to fucking develop.
Not at all. Luke, what about to your team? Have the Steelers made any moves, or is there any moves that you think they should make?
Okay. I can attack
Hey,
that.
before you go, I think you guys might have the steal of the offseason.
Ebron?
Yep.
Yeah. Ebron at $6 million a year is a fucking steal.
You got him for less than Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, which is hilarious. Actually, me and you were texting when
Exactly.
Yeah, you texted me when you're like, wow, $6 million. Yeah, right. Fucking yeah. $6 million for a tight end who will fit our system. And we've seen what Ben can do with the likes of Ladarius Green before those like 4 games he was with us before concussions basically ended his career.
Yeah.
An athletic downfield pass catching tight end, even though Ebron's hands are iffy.
Yeah.
I feel like half of his drops were symptomatic of Jacoby Brissett or Brian Hoyer not being an elite level passer.
Yeah, if you want to look at it, look at the year before that when he had Luck.
Right.
Exactly right. Right. Ebron's performance, just like any real, like case in point, look at Antonio Gates. And I'm not comparing the two, but what I'm saying is Antonio Gates had the best years of Phillip Rivers' career. That matters.
Yeah.
It just does. Aside from that, we traded with Baltimore, which is hilarious, for Chris Wormley.
And that one caught me by surprise.
And we didn't give up shit for him. I thought for sure we were going to get raped on the pick value, but
well, you figure that's just Baltimore creating the hole for Calais Campbell.
Yeah, right. It was, but yeah, he's only like a third year player. But what makes Wormley attractive to a team like us is that coming out of college, he was profiled like Cam Hayward.
Okay.
So if we have the next Cam Hayward in our system, he'll do fine.
Yeah.
We also put the second round tender on Hilton. I know that broke while we were doing part 1, but that scared off any potential suitor, which is fantastic. And then yesterday we signed 3 guys from the XFL.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which was awesome because the XFL we know PJ Walker signed to Carolina. We know, Jordan Ta'amu is now going to basically back up Mahomes. But the guy that I like, and I'm going to get his name here. And again, the XFL, I watched it, but I watched like all of it, so the names aren't really like registering. I do know he was from the New York Guardians, and I do know that he led the league in sacks at the D tackle position.
Wow.
So on a 1-year deal, I think we only spent about $1 million on him. I will gladly take a comparable player to a Hargrave. I don't expect him to be a Hargrave, and we'll never run a 4-3, but at least a similar prototype player in our system. I'm all for that.
That's the question I wanted to ask you. How do you think the loss of Hargrave is going to do?
It's signing this guy. I think his name is Kayvon Walker.
Okay.
Signing him is huge. Hargrave against I would say 2/3 of center and interior linemen. Hargrave was actually successful pushing the pocket and being a vertical threat.
Yeah.
And then we still have like Tyson Alualu, whose really only job is to just eat, eat the center up and just kind of clog the run lane. I'll take that in a heartbeat. I mean, I also like the fact because as good as Stephon Tuitt is, he gets hurt a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Hayward gets banged up, but he's pretty durable. If you're telling me we're going to implement a platoon to keep our best assets healthy, that's just smart football. And if you're dipping into the XFL ranks, signing players because they were only making about $55,000. So even on a league minimum, you're what I don't even know what the word is. You're timesing their salary by 10.
Right.
Who the fuck's not going to sign that?
Like a half.
Exactly. They're fucking happy.
Yeah, so they're fucking thrilled, and again, you're not gonna see a D tackle get what PJ Walker or Jordan Ta'amu got just because quarterback versus D tackle, your value is significantly different in how you're evaluated.
And then of course you guys signed the black sheep of the family, the offensive player Watt.
Yeah, we went over that in part 1. What I will say is now that the ink is dried on that, we needed a guy to replace Matakevich, and Rosie Nix could never stay healthy.
Yeah.
And considering all of our running backs are good, not great, we can't run single back the way we used to with fucking Le'Veon. Because Le'Veon could at least make people miss.
Yeah,
the only guy James Conner is okay, but I don't want him getting hit point blank by outside linebackers, at least without a fucking fullback in front of him.
Last season showed you losing him for periods of time definitely hurt your offense, especially without your quarterback.
Oh, yeah, but you know what's funny? Steeler fans were an interesting bunch because we were spoiled with Le'Veon.
Yeah, of course.
So now we have 3 running backs that can't do what he single-handedly could do.
Mm-hmm.
And people are mad at Connor because he can't stay healthy. I'm like, first off, he was injury-prone in college, and that's before he got fucking cancer.
Yeah.
Right.
This kid's giving you everything he has. But he's also a 3rd-round running back, and for most other teams, he was probably later than that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting, and again, we got Le'Veon in the 3rd. You can't expect every fucking 3rd-round pick to just turn into Le'Veon Bell or Antonio. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like we're lucky Connor even made a Pro Bowl.
Right. Lucky he turned out to be what he turned out to be.
Throw this out there. How many first-round running backs, probably outside of Zeke, have lived up to it so far?
Right.
The jury's still out on Saquon.
Mm-hmm. Gurley, look how he turned out.
Yeah.
Saquon right now is in a shit position because we don't know what the fuck the Giants are doing.
Oh, we'll get into that. But, yeah, in terms of like Derek Watt, I had actually brought this stat up to Sean last time. Derek Watt was tied with Tyler Matakevich in special teams tackles last year to lead the league.
Okay.
You've now replaced that, but you're also getting more on field time, between first and third down. So that doubles his value to us because we still use a fullback.
My last thing on y'all guys, do you think with the addition, especially the Ebron, does Juju have a bounce back year?
Juju has a bounce back year if three things happen. Because Juju is not a number one.
He's not.
Don't let him fool you.
Right.
Juju needs James Washington to keep developing.
Yep.
Juju needs Deontay Johnson to build off everything he did last year because Deontay Johnson might be a fucking steal.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to take a receiver with no later than our third-round pick.
Yeah, because I feel like that's almost a little bit with us because, like, we have a guy who's developing into a number one.
Also, for what it's worth, if we, for some reason, don't like who – because, again, we pick at, like, 49. Like, we're not getting a Judy, a Lamb, a fucking Ruggs, or that kid from Colorado. We're not getting any of them. So we're going to have to dig deep, which we've shown we can do, like case in point, Deontay Johnson. But what I'm getting at is if we've already dipped into the XFL ranks, I personally go get a receiver like the kid from the Guardians, and I cannot remember his fucking name, but he's like 6'4". That's who we need.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of 5'11" guys running around, and we have little ass Ryan Switzer running the middle. Like the pieces are there, but we don't have a one. And Juju, we saw against guys like Marlon Humphrey or Marshawn Lattimore when we played the Saints in the Dome. Juju will disappear if you put an elite corner on him.
Mikhail McKay?
Yeah, bingo. Mikhail McKay. And again, and even these fucking guys that were playing from the Alliance to the XFL, they're trending upward.
Yeah.
Right.
The next logical step for them, I would rather take a gamble on an XFL guy at less than what a second-round pick's going to cost me just in terms of signing bonus.
I mean, that's like, in our case, I believe we're going to go receiver first pick. We're drafting right around 15.
Yeah, that's where you should. That's what you should.
Gotta hope, maybe only one receiver gets picked, maybe one or two picks before us, so we can try to get a Judy or a Lamb.
Yeah.
Because like that's like when you talk about Juju, it reminds me of our situation with Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
The only thing is Cortland Sutton is a physical beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, a young number two, if you don't have a one.
Exactly.
Juju had great numbers with Antonio Brown on the other side.
But that's the thing. We got to understand it. These guys have great numbers when they're going against second corner or the nickel. They're not going against the Ramseys, the A.J. Boyes, the Chris Harrises, the Shermans. You know what I'm saying? Now when you're the guy, now you got to go against these number one corners, and you're isolated against them all game long. Especially, in your division where it's pretty much a smash mouth division.
Well, and of course, Baltimore being Baltimore, it's not even just Humphrey anymore. Jimmy Smith is their number 3 now.
Yeah.
Marcus Peters is still fucking there.
And to me, it's like you guys and Baltimore really addressed the defense while Cleveland just really – I mean, they addressed some defense, but they definitely went a lot into offense.
Yeah, but okay, overpaying Austin Hooper doesn't help.
Makes no sense to me. When I seen how much money he got, I texted my father and I said, guy, the 3 guys that are laughing right now and are excited about that is Travis Kelce.
Yep.
Kittle.
Yep.
And Zach Ertz.
Yep.
Probably all just said, thank you, Hooper, for making us a lot more money.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because there's no way he's on that level of them 3.
No.
Exactly.
The only equivalent level for Hooper to them is in a fantasy level, and even that's iffy.
Yeah.
And that's just on volume. Hooper equates more to like a Zach Ertz just on volume. And that was to me,
Hooper, if anything, Hooper's to me what Hunter Henry would have been if he would have stayed healthy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Yeah.
Now
let's move. Well, let's move to you, Sean, because
before we go to every other teams, me and Luke spoke about our teams.
Yeah.
Now let's go to you guys. You guys have been moving like an NBA team after they signed the 3 max players and signed them but 1-year deals.
And we got to do what we got to do. I'm not upset with the 1-year deals because with our help, with our history of signing guys, they don't work out. Most of them just don't work out. So I'm okay with these 1-year deals. Let's see what the fuck you're gonna do for us
Tell
in
us
a year.
Tell us
and
what some of these
go
1-year
from
deals are.
Yeah.
Huh? No, I am. I'm just saying. I'm saying.
Well, and put it out there first before you even tell us moves. How affected are you about your center retiring?
Oh yeah.
Big. It's huge for us that he's gone because everybody, when we talk about the Cowboys, for the past few years,
Everything,
their
the
offensive line have been top 5, maybe even top 3.
You know, it's crazy that you say that, but just the reputation had some of your backup guys getting a lot of money. Look at us signing
Exactly.
to the contract we signed them for.
I was just gonna say our offensive line has been the focal point of our team. Honestly, I feel like, and how we progress, because if you guys know this, you guys have been watching football as long as I have, and you guys know what the Cowboys were before Tony Romo, DeMarco Murray, and Bryant.
Yeah.
We were shit. We had nothing. But this is when I started gaining a lot more respect for Jerry Jones, is because after, I forgot what season it was, but that's when he started to build the foundation of our offensive line. He got 4 offensive line. I think all 4 of them are in the first or second round top. And they all worked out. Even the backups worked out.
You guys
So,
essentially built the Golden State Warriors of offensive line.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's very important to what you just said earlier, E, how important an offensive line is for your team, how important an offensive line is for the Steelers. It's important in every league and in every team, and especially with what we have. We got one of the best running backs, if not the best running back in the league. And then you got a quarterback who's trying to be on the upward, track so he can get paid. But I'm not going to say he's the best player on our team, the best offensive line, because I think that goes to Smith. But he would be second. By far, he's second, and he's young. And it hurts because I don't know if we're going to be able to replace that. I think I think Hill or Colombo, I'm not even sure if we still have that guy. But they're decent, but they're not Frederick. Frederick was a 4 or 5-time All-Pro. I mean, it's hard to replace that. So is it going to hurt? Yes. Am I upset about it like crazy? No, and this is why, E. Because I don't have that much confidence in us going into this season. So that's why it doesn't hurt that much. I just don't have that much confidence in us. So it is what it is. I'm just going to be real.
But I give you that. It's a difference of being real and then, those people who put the false confidence in and say, yeah.
Right.
No, I mean, if anything, I think out of us 3, my team's probably in the worst position division-wise because we're pretty much going to be playing for second place.
Yeah.
Luke's team, they have a shot as long as Ben is healthy.
Yeah.
And you guys are probably in the most seesaw division in the fucking league.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, it's going to be even more crazier this year because Washington got much better this year. New York got a little better this year.
I'm not sold on Washington.
Philly got a little bit better this year, so.
I'm not sold on Washington because I don't know what the fuck they're doing at quarterback. It shows that they really don't have faith.
Yeah, they don't have their quarterback. That's the only thing that I'm happy about with Washington. But actually, they just made a move that's actually pretty important for them.
Allen?
Huh?
What's that?
And the reason why I say that is them signing Allen, it's not the biggest sign in the world, but the fact that he's familiar with Rivera and what he calls and things like that. And he did have a little bit of success. Now, obviously, some of that success was because of McCaffrey. but and the Washington Redskins don't have that. They got AP, but he's not AP like we know him to be. But I think that will help. And I still don't think Washington's done making moves at that quarterback position.
I think if Washington is smart, you trade Trent Williams, get those draft picks,
Mhm.
and go. You don't want to
Exactly.
be there. You're gonna get a good pick. The guy's probably the best left tackle in football.
Mhm.
Well, Trent Williams at this point, would it shock anyone if he gets drafted or traded on draft day?
No,
No, not at all.
That to me,
why wouldn't you?
that's when his value hits its apex.
Yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely.
And especially,
Absolutely.
let's say a team like, let's just say the Jets at 11. If the receivers that they need go too high, like within the top 8,
Mhm.
you might as well just fucking take Trent Williams on a 2-year flyer, and that buys
Yeah.
you time to suck for another 3 years and wait for some stud to come out of whatever college.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You might as well.
Yeah.
And
That
who's to
makes
say a
sense.
team? Who's to say a team who's not sold at that quarterback position and say, you know what, we can go at it again with a veteran backup, and
Yeah.
let's say we jump back next year and try to get Trevor Lawrence.
Because New England's tanking for him.
For sure. But to get back to my Cowboys and some of the moves they made, you already named one of them, losing our O-line, one of our best O-line. It hurts, but you already know how I feel. To me, the biggest signing for us is signing HaHa Dix. Now, he's not the best corner in the league, safety in the league, but it was
He had a
definitely
decent year with
a
the Bears.
position we needed to handle. We
He
needed
does-
to take care of that. What was that?
He had a good year. He had a decent year with the Bears.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm saying he's just not, the top guy, but
I know.
he's going to make a difference in our secondary because I love Heath. Don't get me wrong. I love Heath, but he's on and off. He's hit or miss. He's either going to make a big play or he's going to make a horrible play.
Or he's going to go for a big tackle and concuss himself.
Yeah.
And miss
I
or
was gonna
some
say,
shit.
Jeff Heath was the safety equivalent of Sean Lee.
Right, exactly. So, and I think we need to finally move on from Sean Lee too. I think he's great, but his career is going to crash and burn very, very soon if he keeps risking his life like that. He needs to chill. He's still very smart.
He needs to go have a conversation with Luke Kuechly.
Yeah, really.
He needs to go have a talk with Jerry Jones and tell him, look, I'm not playing no more, but I would love to stay and be a linebacker coach or something like that because his mind, his IQ is amazing at linebacker. So we could definitely use, especially with those young guys, Jalen Smith and Vander Esch. So I would love to have him be a part of the team still.
Yeah.
But HaHa Dix will definitely make a difference. He's familiar with McCarthy's system and everything. So I think that will make a difference for us. I hope. If not, we're going to have to make a move in the draft. But we don't pick until 17. So who knows who we'll get from there.
Let me ask you this, Sean. The other thing, and it's not so much a signing. You also lost Randall Cobb, a.k.a. the DeAndre Hopkins replacement.
Yeah. I'm fine.
That hurts.
It didn't hurt me.
Does that show that you guys putting a lot of faith in Gallup?
I think it's part of that. I think it's one thing that we've seen last year with the Cowboys was our second and third receivers. Well, I don't want to say second, but the younger guys, Gallup and Smith, they stepped up this year. He got a lot better. Cobb, he had a few nice games, but he wasn't a difference like he was supposed to.
Yeah.
To me, the biggest thing that kills me, and we mentioned his name earlier, was losing Ryan. What's his last name from the Steelers? Switzer.
Oh, Switzer.
He was perfect with the Cowboys, and I wish we kept him. I really wish we kept him because he was perfect. He was Beasley, basically, Cole Beasley. Like, he was perfect for that, man. And now we went and got Cobb, and then he didn't work out. So I think what you said, E, is that they're going to trust the guys that we have and go from there. Hopefully everything goes the way it's supposed to. Coop gets better now that he got paid. But we don't know how that works because, some guys get paid and they go downwards. So,
Um, before we move on and talk about the rest of the league, I just want each of us to name one spot we want our team to adjust more.
let me finish my Cowboys first. I'm going to cut my Cowboys off. All right?
Ah, please. Team that's 9 and gets into the playoffs.
At least we can make the playoffs.
They'll lose one extra home game.
Another signing that we made that I thought it wasn't the biggest signing, but it was a decent signing, which was get another tight end in Bell from the Chiefs. He was the backup for Kelsey, and I know we already have our starting tight end, and I forgot his name.
Blake Jarwin.
But Bell would be another great fit because if you notice the Cowboys, it's like a 2 tight end thing. They use multiple tight ends, some for blocking, some for passing, and things like that. So yeah. I think that's what he's going to be used for. It's definitely in the blocking scheme of things. With losing Witten, we know he wasn't much of anything as far as receiving, but he still was a pretty decent blocking tight end. And then the last thing that I want to mention as far as my Cowboys go, and I don't know, I'm just putting it out there because it came out and it's just funny that it's back because I knew this was going to happen. Randy Gregory trying to come back to the Cowboys after knowing that smoking weed is legal now. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Cowboys let him back. I think they will. I wouldn't be surprised because Jerry Jones is that type of guy.
Him and Jerry could spark one up and they'll be good.
Exactly. But I will say this. If we do get him back, I would love to have him back because when he is on the field, he's good.
Yeah, but don't you think getting him back takes an effect where you just signed Gerald McCoy?
Yeah, but we don't – my thing is I got to see what you can do. I got to see it when you're on my team. Fuck what you did on those other teams. Exactly. What can you do for my team? Because we've seen what players do for other teams, and then they get traded or be afraid of it and sign with someone else, and they're nowhere the same. It's like, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean? So I'm in the mind state of just I got to see it before I start, trusting it. After what I seen last year, there's no more hypeness from me as far as my Cowboys stuff. I'm not doing it no more.
If you get Randy Gregory back, I want Martavis Bryant back.
There you go.
I'll take any star player who likes to smoke weed. It's legal in Denver anyway.
Yeah, it's fucking Denver.
Oh, yeah, you guys should definitely take them all.
Mark it up. Let's go. We out there.
I can read it now. Aldon Smith to the Broncos.
Aldon Smith and Josh Gordon.
I forgot about Aldon Smith. Oh, shit.
Aldon Smith and Josh Gordon.
Yeah, Josh Gordon. But E, what was your question that you had?
What's one area do we think each of our teams should, look into, whether it's now, the rest of let's say rest of free agency, because we can say draft, but we're talking free agency here. Let's stick to that.
I'll start, and I'm not sure if I think he has got signed, but Chris Harris, has he got signed yet?
Yeah.
Went to the Chargers. He took less money to go to the Chargers. We offered him a 1-year, $13 million deal. I think he went to the Chargers for about $10 million.
I think we gotta get another corner. We have to get another corner. Losing Byron Jones does hurt. He was a great corner. He didn't take away the ball enough, but
but that's something we've been spoke about. We all said that was the guy you guys were losing.
Yeah, exactly. We knew that was coming. So, but we got to replace him. We have to, because with these receivers out here today, there's some freakish ass receivers, small and big, and you got to have the right corners to stop them. If not, you're gonna have Michael Thomas all over again.
And that's the sad part. You guys are in the NFC. DeAndre Hopkins just got there. Mike Evans just got Tom Brady. Mike Thomas is probably number 1 or number 2. You still got Julio there.
Yep.
Can I shed some light on who you should go after?
Oh.
Logan Ryan.
Whoa. I like that.
He's still
Logan
out
Ryan.
there. He's still out there. He's only 29. So in the quarterback timeline, he has about 3 years left of still being productive.
Yep.
Championship playoff pedigree from going from New England to the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys don't need another young, like if you could hit on another young guy like a Awuzie,
Right.
like right out the draft, or Byron Jones, great.
Mhm.
I don't think that's what you need, though. You need more veteran leaders on that defense, which
Absolutely.
is why, like, Gerald McCoy made sense, which is why Clinton Dix made sense.
Yep. Absolutely. I agree. They need that veteranship.
I'll give you one that I think, and it kind of leads into what I talk about my Broncos, is actually Prince Amukamara.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads me into the Broncos because I could say, let's go after a receiver, but in free agency, no.
Mm-mm.
We just spoke about this draft class is loaded with receivers. So I think for my Broncos, if we're gonna, another move is definitely try to add another corner. Bryce Callahan didn't play a game last year. We signed Bouye. We don't need a top corner. We have our number 1 corner. Which would allow us to leave Kareem Jackson at safety.
Mm-hmm.
We tagged Justin Simmons. We have our safeties locked. And to say go after a lineman, who's the top lineman out there now? Jason Peters?
Yeah.
Can't stay healthy.
Well, he's also 38. What the fuck are you going to expect to pay him?
Exactly. I'd rather just get a bunch of bodyguards to play left tackle of Garrett Bowles anyway. So my thing is, I would say corner for us too. You corner or maybe another linebacker.
All right, let me run this by you, E. Everson Griffin is still out there.
I like that.
And now that Everson Griffin can get high, because if you recall, he took time off to address his mental health.
Yeah.
Now that he can self-medicate legally and not face a suspension or a crazy fucking fine, that to me makes sense.
Yes.
Because let's also be real. Von Miller is a fucking animal. That's not debatable at this point, nor has it been for years. But when you look at the Broncos, it was always Von and Chris Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's Von and fucking Bouye, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the guy on the front 4 that scares you?
It's supposed to be Chubb, who's coming back from ACL surgery.
Right. So to preserve all necessary parties. Also, you could use Evan as a hand.
And now Jarrell Casey.
Right.
We gotta give him his credit.
Right. But I'm saying Everson Griffin to me would be the nice icing on the cake coming from a hard-nosed Viking defense.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that you bring him up, it makes sense because he'd make a good replacement for Derek Wolfe. Don't get me wrong, big fan of Derek Wolfe, but the injuries have gotten to him the last couple years.
Yeah, and even
he hasn't shaken that neck injury.
Yeah, and Derek Wolfe at his peak, I don't think would ever be the full throttle just athlete that Griffin is.
Yeah, Griffin was a fucking monster.
Yeah, so I mean that for the Broncos at least, that would be that one extra little cherry on top.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about the Steelers?
It's hard to say. Like I said, we signed 3 fucking guys from the XFL yesterday.
Right.
We're gonna keep Mike Hilton. We're gonna keep Matt Filer. The other from the XFL, aside from Kayvon Walker, we also signed an O-lineman.
Okay.
So that's 2 now because we also brought in the Chiefs guard, Wisniewski. That went under the radar. I mean, honestly, bring me Jameis.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I need. That's the only fucking thing I don't have confidence in is everything behind Ben.
Yeah.
It's like for you guys, like that's the thing. you're one Ben injury going down from your season to be complete shit again.
Right. And we finished 8-8 with Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges.
Right. If you had a decent
Jameis,
quarterback.
even though
you didn't
Jameis
play.
loves to throw picks, so does Ben. They're the same fucking.
I mean,
player.
didn't
Right.
Ben throw 2 years ago 5 picks in a game, 6 picks
Yeah,
against the Jags anyway?
they're the same fucking. The only difference is we still won that game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jameis would have the fucking guts to fucking go in and attack a linebacker at the goal line.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's the same fucking player. It's the same archetype. It's the same
He's probably
gunslinger.
just better athletically.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Ben's also like 36, 37 years old. I'm not expecting him. I was shocked during that Jacksonville game when he even moved forward. Jameis would probably do it. Jameis also, if you bring in a guy like Jameis, you add an insurance policy, which is desperately needed because I understand Colbert is trying to keep Mason Rudolph's confidence alive. Don't bother. Let him die. Let him go to the fucking XFL. Jameis, at least you can salvage Jameis's career.
Right.
And you bridge the – Ben's got 2 years left on his deal. You sign Jameis for, let's say, 4. It's almost like bringing in a rookie. It's like, okay, we both learned under Bruce Arians, so we know how to play quarterback. We're good at it, but he didn't have anyone above him in Tampa to push him into the top flight. He never had that mentor.
Yeah.
Right.
You put him around Ben, who is a Hall of Famer. He's only going to be able to fucking learn.
Yeah.
And that to me is more valuable to Jameis Winston than, let's say, going to the Chargers, fighting for a starting spot over Tyrod Taylor or a first round quarterback.
Then having to play, you gotta go. Let's say you do, then you gotta go against the Chiefs twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Broncos twice a year. You don't know what the Raiders are gonna look like twice a year.
Right.
At least like you said, you can go to Pittsburgh and just sit and learn.
Right. And
And
then
when
also,
when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers history, they've always had a backup quarterback.
Well,
The past 10 years
I
that
mean,
I can remember, they've always had a backup quarterback.
let's be honest.
It's worked out.
Would any of us know who the fuck Tommy Maddox was if he didn't play for the Steelers?
forget Tommy Maddox. We had the greatest backup quarterback in NFL history, and his name was Charlie fucking Batch.
Charlie
Pittsburgh
Batch.
legend.
Yeah.
Charlie Batch is the fucking man. But to answer to make his point, yeah, we always did have a Charlie Batch, a Tommy Maddox, a fucking. We've always had
Michael Vick.
Yeah, exactly. We brought in Vic for 1 year, and it worked. Vic played fairly well.
Yeah, you guys.
It was the most unpopular signing, I think, in the history of the Steelers. But we needed a fucking backup.
Yep.
The difference between Jameis and Vic, though, aside from style of play, Vic was also at the end of his career. Jameis should be entering his peak right now.
Mm-hmm.
Which would lead me to believe, and again, I've said this 1,000 times on different podcasts and different discussions with fellow football friends of mine. Let me backtrack. I don't trust Mike Tomlin for shit drafting of anyone in the first round. Anyone after that, go nuts, because we're probably going to get at least a one-time Pro Bowler.
So
in the first round.
So you guys are good that you don't have a first-round pick this year.
Oh, well, our first-round pick is Minka Fitzpatrick. That's a guaranteed fucking all-pro potential. But at least, I'm saying, look at our first-round history. Terrell Edmonds. Decent, big stretch.
Hasn't lived up to it yet.
He was never supposed to be he was supposed to go in the third round.
Yeah.
Artie Burns.
Who just got signed with the Bears.
Artie Burns, at one point, as a Steeler, was the worst-rated corner in the NFL.
And I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm actually a University of Miami fan.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of Artie Burns.
Yes, you did. We hit on Shazier. We hit on Cam Hayward. and we
Mhm.
hit on David DeCastro and Pouncey. Those are the big four. And Devin Bush, jury's still out, but that looks good.
I mean, yeah, if you look at it, your best player in your defense wasn't even a first-round pick.
And
Yeah.
TJ Watt we hit on too. But anything on the offensive side of the ball, we normally don't even address the offense until the second, third round.
Yeah.
Or sixth,
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
Antonio Brown. But it just makes sense. Bring in a fucking insurance policy. He's the same fucking guy. Nobody wants Mason Rudolph there. Mason Rudolph is like herpes. If he shows up, you're gonna be pissed, and nobody wants him there anyway. So just get rid of him if possible. Do whatever you can to just keep him away.
And the quote of the night, Mason Rudolph.
Quote of the night brought to you by Bud Light, aka the vaccine for the
It's like
coronavirus.
Quote of the night, everybody. If you haven't taken anything away from this episode, take
That
away
quote-
that.
That should be the name of this episode.
Mason Rudolph equals herpes.
Yeah,
Mason.
that's gonna be the name of this episode.
Like herpes. Oh, that might just do that. Just might just do that. All right, so now that we talked about our teams, now we're just going to name some of the other signings before we wrap it up.
Yeah, I mean, we should start off with the biggest news, which is Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Obviously, nobody was shocked. Everybody knew he was done in Carolina. Now, to me, the only thing is where. Obviously, it can't be the Chargers or the Bears because reports were that they tried to trade him to those two teams and they weren't interested. I think everybody's scared off because of the injury. Nobody knows where he's at. I know he's posting that he's in the gym right now, ready and everything now. But
you had 10 months to heal. I expect you in the gym.
Of course. But I think now with this quarantine and everything, with him not even be able to meet with teams at their facilities and everything like that, it might be a long process till he gets on.
Yep.
Can we also look a little look a little deeper into it? Why the fuck would you trade for Cam Newton? Once you've established that he's not worth any of your draft picks or anything above the fifth round, let him hit the open market.
That's what I mean. To me, it's like once they signed Teddy Bridgewater, they showed their hand because they showed they're trying to get rid of Cam. And Luke, me and you were Yankee fans. When earlier this year, Severino would report needed Tommy John, what was the big thing? The Yankees don't want to make it known that they need a pitcher because why? It's just going to drive other teams' price up.
Yep.
So now when you're telling me you want to get rid of a player, I'm going to say, all right, I'll give you a 6th-round pick.
Yeah, right.
And you tell me, no, all right, I'll just wait for you. You're going to cut him because you don't want to pay him the money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
so let me ask you guys.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't be shocked.
No. Who do you think is the best fit for Cam right now?
Chargers.
100%.
Because again, it's the same reasons that they should have pursued Brady harder. For what it's worth, Cam Newton will at least put asses in seats. And if you're going with a full rebrand with a new logo, new jerseys, why not give me a quarterback better than Tyrod Taylor?
To give you a different answer, I'll say Miami. If you want to make the splash,
I was going to say them
and
too.
you're at what pick do they have? 5?
They have like 8 of them, but yeah.
5, and you're not completely sold on Tua, and you can't, because I know the big reporters they've been trying their hardest to get to number 1.
Yep.
To get Burrow, but that's not looking like it's going to happen.
No.
So my thing is, if you're not sold on Tua, and you want a team that's like trying their hardest to get to Tua, why not stockpile more draft picks?
Yeah.
You sign Cam. You already have what's his name there, as another young guy that they picked up from Arizona.
Oh, fucking Rosen.
Yeah, Josh Rosen. Why not? You move back a couple spots, grab one of those top receivers to have with Cam. Why not?
Yeah, I think both of those places are good places. I would more agree with the Chargers for the reasons put asses in the seat. It's a new stadium, big name. I know he's not been the biggest name
How
as
about
of
how
late,
about
but
right there, exactly what I said. How about Miami and the Chargers move up to take Tua, and you take
right.
a Chargers draft pick?
Yeah.
Because if
Um,
Miami doesn't take Tua, it's looking like it's up to the Chargers to choose between Tua and Herbert.
hmm Pretty much.
Yeah.
Um, some of the other moves, I'll name them and then we can just discuss them as we go. Um, Roby Coleman to the Eagles. I think that was a pretty good. Well, obviously, I pay attention to that because it's a rival team. So
I mean,
him
it
getting
shows
stronger.
that
I
shows
think
the
it was
Eagles are finally trying to fucking make their corners better because God knows they were awful the last couple of years.
exactly. They were horrible last year. So smart move by the Eagles to make that move because you know their receivers couldn't catch. Neither can their corners catch the receivers.
Did you guys talk about the Darius Slay?
No, we didn't. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
actually going to be.
at that since we're talking about the Eagles, they did get Darius Slay from Detroit, who's
Mhm.
one of the top corners.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that's definitely worth it. That probably just allowed Detroit to draft what's his name from Ohio State,
Yeah. I can never
Yeah,
remember the
yeah.
fucking name either.
Okuda.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
wild shit.
So,
The Cowboys are interested in going after him too.
you're not getting. You're
He's
not
not
getting.
making it past 5.
Yeah. You're not
I
getting
know.
Duca.
I'll tell you
I
right now. There's 2 defensive players that will not. Well, obviously we all say Chase Young is probably 2, but Okuda and Simmons are not making it past 6.
Yeah.
No shot. Isaiah Simmons, if Joe Burrow didn't exist, is the
He'd
number
be the
one
number
pick.
1 pick.
100%.
The guy he's basically an NBA player playing football. He can play every position on the defense almost.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yep.
What sucks is
The
he's gonna go
Jags
to
get
Detroit and fucking
tight
die.
end and Eifert.
Yeah.
That's doesn't make huge. It's big for them, but it's not big for them because they don't really have a quarterback. So
Eifert went to Jacksonville, right?
Eifert went to Jackson. The thing about Eifert that Eifert has so much potential. It's just the injuries, man.
yeah, yeah. Another signing is the Panthers to. I mean, the Panthers to Roby Anderson. Roby Anderson to the Panthers.
They overpaid for him horribly.
And you know what? I gotta give a shout out. I gotta give a shout out to somebody. I gotta give a shout out to our boy Callie. Me and him have been we're talking heavy on the subject, and we both said both. He's a Raiders fan, and obviously we're in the same position. Probably gonna draft a receiver in the first round, and we both said at least we're thinking smart going into the draft for a receiver instead of overpaying for Roby Anderson.
Yeah. Well, Robbie Anderson. Well, okay, it's different for Carolina because you already had DJ Moore. You have at least some talent. Robbie Anderson's not your focal point.
You got Christian McCaffrey.
Right. If you're gonna go draft a Judy Lamb or Ruggs, that's your number at least 2 receiver. Immediately. Why would you over?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
But to sign Robbie Anderson for what, $10 million a year? Something like that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Jets went and got Brashad Perriman for 8. Terrible. Stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The Jets.
Like I said, this is the worst year to be a free agent wide receiver.
Yeah.
And the fact that Roby Anderson got the money he got, crazy.
Yep.
Now, well, hold on. Let me make a quick point on the Jets. They're being smarter than they've been in the last.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets me. For the Panthers to sign him, for the Jets, who's the team who's notorious notorious overspender.
Yep.
Shows you.
Yeah, they're in on Clowney, which is smart, but not at $20 million. No one's in it on Clowney for 20.
I told you he turned down a deal from Miami for 17.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's just dumb.
Mm-hmm. Next one, the Giants get Dion Lewis, someone to back up Saquon when he's injured. Not a big signing, but I think that's something
I
because
mean,
we've seen what they are without Saquon. So,
Luke's been big on telling you about Deion Lewis.
Can we make the statement right now that of all the teams in the NFL, the Giants are fucking up more than the Browns?
and I'm loving every bit of it.
$15 million for fucking Bradbury. Dion Lewis has
And-
sucked ever since he left the Patriots.
And can I ask a question just to throw back? What did Philly give up for Darius Slay?
A third, a fifth?
A third and a fifth. So the Giants could have picked him up and then probably drafted Isaiah Simmons.
Yep.
Yeah, they're not smart.
I mean, I know I'm not no NFL GM, but that sounds like a pretty good defense to me.
Yep. Let's see. Okay. The Dolphins paid Eric Flowers $10 million a year, which is fucking hilarious.
They did?
Yeah.
He did.
Wow.
I think he signed a 3-year, $30 million contract.
Yeah, but they're not using him at a tackle. They're using him at guard where he's actually better.
Yeah.
Not good, but better.
Right.
Did you guys talk about the Gurley signing?
Not yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, just right up.
I mean, Gurley. All right, everybody knows going into the year he was drafted, the big story was nobody knows about how well his knee will hold up. That's why he fell. He should have been like maybe a top 3 pick,
Mm-hmm.
but he dropped lower in the first half because of the knee injury.
Yeah. But is anyone surprised that he went to fucking the Falcons?
He went home. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. He played his ball at fucking Georgia.
Georgia, yeah. That's where it all began from.
At least that made sense.
Right. But to even speak more about on Gurley and how we spoke about running backs, how some of these top running that were supposed to be top running backs didn't turn out to be what they were. I think his first 2 years were nice, but then after that, his knees really just couldn't hold up anymore. And
Ever since that Super Bowl.
definitely bit them in the ass. And the Rams aren't the same.
He
The
should.
Rams paid him and their quarterback. It's not looking pretty.
That
Huh?
Super Bowl year,
Yeah.
when he initially got hurt, he should have sat out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, he wasn't right. Everyone knew he wasn't right.
They didn't really need him because C.J. Anderson picked up a lot of the slack for them.
Yep.
My only thing is, they cut him for, cap reasons. They should talk to Jared Goff about giving some money back because
Yeah.
woo!
Yeah. Because he's part of the fucking reason why Dak is fucking asking for the money he's asking for. It's fucking bullshit.
By the way, can we also acknowledge that the Rams are beyond fucked?
Oh yeah, because they spent all that money
And pick
for 2 years.
and pick capital. Didn't
Uh-huh.
they give Jacksonville a first for Ramsey?
Yes, they
Who-
did.
Ever since he left Jacksonville, has now sucked. Here's the
And-
thing. Marcus Peters on the Chiefs was a fucking animal. You
Yeah.
trade him to the Rams. He went and sucked.
He
Now
forgot
he's
to
on
play
another good defense and is thriving again.
Yep.
Jalen Ramsey, I would not be shocked, and I'm calling it now. Jalen Ramsey gets traded before the end of the year.
Mhm.
And then what was funny, with all of that, you lose Dante Fowler to sign Leonard Floyd,
Yep.
who hasn't done shit since being drafted to the Bears in the first round.
Mhm.
And you figured a guy who had Khalil Mack on his team
Yep.
Yeah.
would put up the numbers.
Yep.
Yes. A lot of teams have made some very questionable moves, and it's definitely biting them in the ass now, for
Oh.
sure. And just another noticeable one, but it's nothing, big to me. The Raiders signed Nelson Aguilar, which isn't important.
No hands team. No hands team. No hands team.
That's all that I wrote down as far as the signings. Is there any other signings that you guys see notable to mention?
Here's the biggest question left in the market. Where in the fuck does Clowney go?
Yeah, I don't know.
I had to explain this to a buddy of mine who was asking why he's not signed yet. And I said it to you guys before we rolled the camera.
Mm-hmm.
He is the Clyde Drexler of DNs. He is a good edge-setting DN, but will not get you sacks.
Right.
We saw it in Seattle. His PFF grade was, I believe, in the top top 5 overall for DNs, but he's only getting 3 fucking sacks.
Exactly.
He has 0 sex appeal.
Yeah, not at all.
And he just turned down, what'd you say, 17 million?
Yeah, 17 million.
Yeah, he's asking for a lot.
He's asking for 20 million at least.
Right. But just to hold the edge is not worth 17 anymore.
No.
It's just not.
Not
And
at all.
the teams that he's asking to or looking to go to between Seattle, Tennessee, the Jets, personally, the Jets should pull the trigger on him.
Yeah.
If you ask me, where should he go? I would say the Jets.
It's got to be the Jets or the Giants, but the Giants don't understand actually how to comprehend a good.
Weren't they really close to signing him to the Giants?
I mean, I just showed you how to rebuild the Giants' defense within one move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't trust the Giants to do anything right now. Nor can you. What I want to see, I think there's one man in the NFL who can get the old Clowney back, and it's Greg Williams.
Yeah.
Even if you double his sack production up to 6 and you can contain the edge
That's something.
in that system.
With that defense.
Right, the linebackers. First,
with the healthy C.J. Mosley coming back.
So, and fuck
right.
And also, they just got they brought in Anawasor.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a Ravens linebacking core, which we know likes to go north-south.
Mm-hmm.
Let's also not forget, if you can creep Jamal Adams up to the line behind Clowney, that's an axe murderer.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that would be scary to see them too.
Right. If all you do is eat up tackles, so Jamal Adams can just run around like a fucking lunatic and just kill people.
A fucking missile.
Yeah, that's
literally what he is. He's a fucking missile.
He's a lunatic. He's like Jason Voorhees. But yeah, if you let your star players do what star players do, and you become one of the guys, the highest paid one of the guys, but you're one of the guys, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Especially if you're taking a short 2-year deal. I would pay Clowney at $20 million, no more than 2 years.
You're right. Exactly.
No option for a third. Just we'll talk once you actually have the stats and the tape to warrant your fucking money.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got to show it. You got to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it all should be about: is what have you done? What have you done lately? And what are you going to do?
We've proven that he can't. He had J.J. Watt and couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that should have been a huge plus for him right there.
Right, but he's still a fucking freak athlete.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's his motor, or you need to go to a guy who's gonna have no problem getting in his ass and being like, "Yo, fucking dude, wake up."
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Greg Williams will do that to anybody.
He'll
Gase hates stars.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure Adam Gase, if Joe Douglas has made the mistake of consulting Adam Gase on anything pertaining to building the roster, then they won't sign him.
Yeah.
But if you tell Gase, stop being a bitch, here's Clowney, he's Greg's fucking responsibility. You go tell Darnold how to be a good quarterback, then you're good.
You know, you brought up one of the best points, and it's crazy to say, But if he wasn't such an asshole and he really wanted to make himself more money the following year,
Yeah.
and take a cheap contract, the team that would be perfect has to be New England.
I know.
Him with Belichick,
Yeah.
To replace Van Noy.
Belichick will get him to double-digit sacks alone.
That's very true. It's very true.
Yeah, but
Because
that's
we know we're gonna see a whole new New England team,
well, yeah, they're gonna tank for Trevor.
and he's probably just gonna build the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he already has the number one unit in the league. If you're replacing Van Noy with Clowney, not a bad.
Not bad at all.
It's not like you overpaid Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, true. Is there any other notable free agents out there or signings that need to be mentioned?
Not that I know of off the top of the head.
Not really.
All right.
Most of the main guys are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the big contributors are pretty much off the board. Like, if
Right.
anyone signs Prince Amukamara, he's at best at number 2, probably a third corner.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and if there is anything else, we'll definitely get it on the next episode.
Yeah.
To draft and shit like that.
The one thing that should be mentioned, because this is the Locker Room Sunday show, can we officially, in half a year, call the XFL a success?
Yeah.
That their best
if
players
it's already getting guys signed to the NFL, to me that shows something.
Absolutely. The XFL was definitely flourishing, for sure.
Well, the XFL was never designed to compete with the NFL. You will never
Right.
compete with the NFL unless the last league that did it merged.
Exactly.
You'll never compete. The XFL's role is this wonderful sweet spot between second week of February and the draft.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's your fucking minor league role. That's your sweet spot. And they have the money to operate for another 2 years, barring China doing some other dumb shit. We should be right. We should not have an issue with. I'm more curious to see who gets like cut from NFL rosters come training camp, and who trickles back down to the XFL.
Yeah, we'll definitely see that in the next couple of months. Exactly what you just mentioned. A few guys going down, some guys coming up.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be a part of this history for the foreseeable future.
Well, they have to.
It's great. I think it's great for the sport, for both sports, honestly.
Right. Well, they have. Well, all the other leagues have a minor league system.
Exactly.
You would never make the XFL the official minor leagues, because at that point you limit the value of the play and the players. They don't need that.
Right.
All they want is a fair shot to make an NFL roster. PJ Walker 100% deserved to be signed.
Yeah.
No question.
So did Tamu.
No question.
So did the Dallas tight end, who I think went to I forget if it was the Rams or the Chargers, but he's in a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 guys that Pittsburgh signed, why not?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, like you said, it would just show guys, if you get cut, go show teams what you can do.
Yeah.
And this will only, to me, to be honest, this will even help the guys who go undrafted
Mm-hmm.
to show, what they're worth.
Yeah.
Exactly. They get another opportunity.
Oh yeah.
But that looks like it's a wrap for us. Great episode. And like always, go check us out on all the social media platforms. This episode will be on the Patreon site for early access for everybody that wants to sign up. Only $1. All you need is $1 to sign up and see these episodes before everyone else does, and enjoy, the conversation that we had. So
That check from Trump is coming, people. $1 ain't gonna kill you.
Yeah, $1 won't hurt. $1 won't hurt at all. But other than that, it's your boy Jones the Sports, Luke, E. Zones of Sports. We make sports better.
Peace.
Peace.